If you have assistant coach that is in Nigeria, you should give them the job so that they also can grow from it.
We have coaches even far better than Eric Chelle, but the undertone is that politically they may not allow most of those our indigenous coaches to perform at their optimum.
Welcome back to EVO SPORTS. Eric Chelle's salary has been increased to $100,000, but I don't know after the increment if they promoted him or demoted him. I later found out that he was told to handle the under 23 junior team or national team. So I still have Abet with me in the studio, and I have Chima with me in the studio. Chima, is Eric Chelle promoted or demoted from after increasing his salary from $50,000 to $100,000 and told to take the ends of the affair of the under 23 team? Is he being promoted or demoted?
I am also confused because at this point in time, Super Eagles coach Eric Chelle, he has played about 18 games and then only one loss. That was the loss against Portugal. So I think he has won about 11 games and drew about either 6 or thereabout. So very good record for a Super Eagles coach. But then after back and forth, fighting and dragging and prolonging his
19-point agenda.
His 19-point agenda. At the end of the day, they have to call him for a meeting, because as it stands now, Eric Chelle is a very hot cake in Africa because what he has done with Super Eagles now, everybody wants him. Even the Tunisian national team, the Algerian national team, and even some club side in Europe, now they know what he can do. So definitely he has to take that advantage. But now, if Nigerian National Sport Commission called him and then they have to increase his money from $45,000
US. $45,000, I thought it was $50,000.
From $45,000 US to $100,000 US. It's not a bad one. And now they've agreed to also pay for the his assistant, his crew, because formerly Eric Chelle paid them from his own pocket, from his own salary. So now the NFF has agreed to pay. But now giving him the role to coach under 23 because Nigeria wants to qualify for the Olympics. So they want him to take over. I remember 2025 when Eric Chelle took the home base Eagles to I think Sudan or where was that?
The Chan Eagles.
The Chan Eagles, and they played woefully. I think for me it's a very bad one for Nigerian football. Right now, yes, we have been agitating that we do not want foreign coaches. But then if you bring a foreign coach to coach our Super Eagles and he's doing well, why don't you leave him with that job? Because leaving him with that job, let him be focused. Yeah. Let him scout for players all over the world. Let him scout for how to better the Super Eagles. Let him continue to think, work. He can come to match venues. He can come to watch the under 23. He can come to watch the Super Eagles. He can even give maybe 1 or 2 instructions as a senior team coach from far or with phone call and advice or a technical input to the team indirectly. But you are signing him to be the coach on the dugout again for under 23 team. For me, I feel it's like a disrespect to him because it seems like you are telling him that if you have to pay you $100,000, that means you have to work your ass out. That means you have to do everything in this country. In fact, maybe very soon they might appoint him to be the under 17 coach too, under 20 coach, or possibly they might give him to become Rangers international coach or Enyimba coach as well to coach everybody, which is a very bad one. All over the world, rarely will you see this kind of news. But then, and I ask myself, what is the job of the assistant coaches? What is the job of a man like Fidelis Ilechukwu? What is the job of a man like Ogubote, the Remo Star? Because these 2 coaches are the Nigerian assistant coach to Eric Chelle. So now, that is why in many countries, when you employ even a foreign coach, even in the club side, I remember the time Kaizer Chiefs want to employ Fernando da Cruz. They were insisting that their South African assistant coach must be available and they must give him the code he has to work with so that you can improve those kind of people. So now Eric Chelle's experience being transferred to people like Fidelis Ilechukwu, he has won the MPFL League title. Now if you want to promote Nigerian football, if you want to increase the benefit of Nigerian football, if you want to build Nigerian football, if you want to build the future of our coaches, of our players, the best thing that would have been done was to take in, if you do like Eric Chelle's job, then why not take his assistant? to the under 23 coach. This kind of coach like Fidelis Ilechukwu, he has won the league title. He deserves to be the coach of under 23 team. His boss is Eriche, so definitely he can he's learning from him. So whatsoever thing Eriche have to do, Eriche can still talk to him. Eriche can still coach the under 23 team through Fidelis Ilechukwu. Then Ilechukwu can bring in this experience of coaching Rangers and then working with Eriche. In case of tomorrow, if peradventure Eriche begins to get bigger offers from Europe, from elsewhere, and he feels like to go, it's not a Nigerian. Even if it's a Nigerian, people like Stephen Kechi has coached Togo national team, coach Mali national team, and the rest. So definitely, why are you having this assistant under Eriche if you don't trust them enough to give them the job? Now, when Eriche took Nigerian national home base Eagles to the CHAN, they played woefully. They did not perform because this man barely knows most of these players. Most of these players are local based players. They are players that they play for Kano players, play for Rivers, play for Enyimba. Who will have that personal interpretation with this player more? If people like Fidelis Ilechukwu, who will have the personal understanding with this kind of players more? This same Fidelis Ilechukwu, because they are Nigerians and they are already working in the system already. So now, if you are putting Eriche as the coach, indirectly, Eriche will still go back to Fidelis Ilechukwu, the likes of Ilechukwu and Ogubote, to ask them, this right fullback, this left fullback, where is he playing? How does he play? Because how many matches has Eriche watched in the Nigerian league to coach there, except you want to bring foreign-based players to come and play the under 23 game for us, which of course one or two foreign-based players can be there, but
they definitely will be incorporated.
But of course, if you are building the future, this guy Eriche is not supposed to be brought back again to come and coach the under 23 just because you are paying him $100,000. So definitely you have to give him broom and packer to begin to sweep the whole country because he's paying. No, how much does Hugo Bruce earns? $100,000 a salary as well too. Does he coach any other thing? No. So for me, I feel like Nigeria, most times, people or most of these are leaders, they feel like when they are paying you for something, they want you to work extremely too hard. They want you to just they see themselves as if they are doing you a very big favor. Before Eriche got the job, if not because he was so patient, that was why you have to arrive at this point. If not, if it were another coach, they would have gone long time ago, because this man, after the AFCON, he was agitating for his contract, for his payment and everything. Yet we keep delaying and delaying. Imagine it's after AFCON, December, up till now. This is as at now, today now is when you are not giving Eriche a contract. I feel for me, we treat these people so badly, and at the end of the day, when we don't get the result that we deserve, we begin to attack them. This man have been working with salary for quite some time, spent his own money, he inconvenienced himself and all of those that. So for me, it was a very, very wrong idea for me. Yes, people might say it's coming from experience. He has the experience to the bottom. I am telling you the honest part. If you have assistant coach that is in Nigeria, you should give them the job so that they also can grow from it.
Albert.
Okay, straight to the point. You see, these thoughts or the new contractual agreement between Eric Chelle and the NFF. You see, I think the NFF and the NSC is a strategy in which they feel is a good avenue for players' developmental avenue for him to build the 2028 Olympic train, in which I have taken a very, very left swipe on it. To me, is completely unfounded. But let's look at one or two key details. Improved salary from $50,000.
Is it 50,000 for
the initial salary? Yeah. Is $55,000 or $50,000? $45,000 to now $100,000. And another key thing there is that in this present money now, it will be paid the backroom staff, right?
Will be paid by the NFF.
Will be paid by the NFF. That is to say, he's being served as a geese. You understand me? He's being fat as a geese. Then another thing here again is the strategy. Having Chelle, both the senior and 23 teams, the federation aims to ease the transition from emerging talent moving into the Super Eagles setup. But let's look at the disadvantage, divided priorities. You're coach of the Super Eagles, you are the coach of the under 23. How can you handle two countries, a footballing nation, two most powerful male team? The Super Eagles, and full of European stars. You have not even managed the home-based Eagles. Now the under 23, are you getting it? That is predominantly people playing in Africa, in perhaps Africa or in the Nigerian league.
Even most of
yes, I know.
The Super Eagles are 23.
Within the very much. Then you see, sometimes we always have, apart from the 1996 Dream Team, if you recall, you can correct me if I made a mistake. Apart from the 1996 Olympic, that Nigeria conquered the world. every other Olympic team that Nigeria has produced have never averaged that squad, because sometimes you use some certain players to play the qualifier. When it's about 2 weeks to the tournament, you now bring in shopping some player from, in short, some certain leagues, Scandinavian leagues are even playing second division because their agent has legs. And when you come, they go to the actual tournament and they dysfunction. You understand? They malfunction. They don't even play as if they are a Nigerian team. Another disadvantage here is the burnout. The burnout and fatigue. You can't be handling the Super Eagles and as well the handling under 23. What do you want to achieve? But at the end of the day, is it Chelle's fault? Is it not the NSC and the NFF? As I speak to you, February, March this year, Nigerian Institute of Sport, people are still reading, some that have gone to school, football coaching, they have gotten a lot of certificate, they are still going now. So amongst all the 20 coaches in Nigeria NPFL, they just concluded NPFL that is still going to start up in the next less than 2 months. The 20 coaches in the Nigeria NPFL coaching the 20 teams, no one is fit enough to coach on that. So how about ex under 20 coaches, ex under 23 coaches? Because we see in foreign climes in which a former coach is being appointed as the head coach. We see many, countless of them. We can't even count less. You understand? So many of them, when they are at the end, they are ends of affairs for like 6-7 years. Maybe when they leave the position after like 3 years, they call them back. Why are they not using them? Now that's why you see sometimes I question the integrity of our football administrators. Are you getting it? Now Eric Chelle, yes, 18 matches, 1 loss, but trust me, as the biggest team, the high-profile team, club, everything put together he has ever coached in his life is Super Eagles. Now, don't forget, Super Eagles have class of players that can actually give him results. Let's not forget that fact. If he went to coach Lesotho or went to coach Burundi, would he have gotten this result? See, sometimes we have to check it from. No, I know. I am talking about countries that don't have the players that Nigeria has. This is just a fact. If he goes to coach Morocco, goes to coach South Africa, or go to coach a team maybe like Algeria, they will definitely secure points for him. They may go like 20.
Maybe they are looking at his tactics.
Now, see, this is not the issue of tactics. Now, for you to have given him the job of under 23, a dream team, and the job of Super Eagles, you are undermining the potential of the Nigerians. So many ex-internationals with UEFA bash, UEFA like say, how about Joseph Yobo? So many ex-footballers that are interested in this. Don't forget, if you go to the rack and fight, they may feel they cannot be able to control those ones. So that is to say, ordinarily now the administrators, the Nigerian football administrators, don't want Nigerian football to get to the next level. You get what I'm trying to say? Because if you give him under 23 job and give him a Super Eagles job, what do you intend him to win at the end of the day? You want him to recruit players, somebody that does. In the last 19-point agenda he gave, he said he must have the privilege to go and be watching, with securities, to go and be watching Nigerian league matches. That is to say, he's not even familiar with these players. So how about the coaches going to courses? They will go to abroad, come to Nigerian Institute of Sport, acquire their certificate and all of that. Coaches all over everywhere in Nigeria, you are undermining their potentials and now giving Eric Chelle dual job in Nigeria. I think it's not right. See, NSC and NFF, any body whosoever, any institution responsible for our sports institution should know that we are not here to play politics. We are here for our football to develop. I've never seen, go to Europe, go to other climes that their football or sport administration is moving up. They don't do such a thing. If they check the Super Eagles coach, let him be the Super Eagles coach. You get what I'm trying to say? If another person is supposed to handle the under 23 so that he can actually use all he has, all his techniques, his tactics, and devote his time in ensuring that the team has the right players that they need in the right time. Don't forget, this thing as well is a divided attention. You're working with Super Eagles, you're working with on under 23. So who do you want to invite here? Who do you want to invite here? What time will you have with these players, and what time will you have with this player? Yeah, so I think it's a wholesale abandonment of the potentials therein in Nigeria, because I think we have coaches even far better than Eric Chelle. But the undertone is that politically they may not allow most of those our indigenous coach to perform at their optimum.
I think that the NFF or NFL, they are looking down on our indigenous coaches, because in this ongoing World Cup, I saw somebody like Roberto Martinez. His assistant coach is Cavallo. Then I saw Ronald Koeman. His assistant coach is Ruud van Nistelrooy. All ex-internationals. I don't know why in Nigerian case it's always different. They want Eric Chelle to handle the whole terms of the affairs of the Super Eagles and that of the
under
under 23
dream team, which is very, very powerful.
Chima, do you have anything to say?
Yes, I think the other little addition I have to this is, first of all, if we have qualified for the Olympics properly, maybe going to the main tournament in Los Angeles, if they bring in a chair to say, okay, because of experience, so now I want you to win this tournament for us with your experience. Go. Probably it might be maybe 1 month tournament or 2 months, so I can just agree with them. But now, qualifiers have not even started, so you want this man to be in charge of playing qualifiers where we have coaches. Yeah, I think for me that is a no-no for me. Then secondly, you bringing in Eriche is not telling us that even in the under-23 squad now, you want Eriche to begin to scout for players all over the world, to bring in Nigerian-born players abroad, whether they are good or not, to come and play for the under-23 team, where we are not that they will not be invited, but it shouldn't be mandatory that this must be players based in abroad or born in abroad, just like the way we are prioritizing any player that anybody in Europe, whether they are in Somalia or they are in Scandinavian or anywhere, as far as you just play one ball and internet any day and they hear your name, they will come and invite you to come and play for Super Eagles. It's not supposed to be so, but right now this under-23 setup should have been players, best players from the Nigerian league, from Africa, and other young players that are, even sometimes you can have academy players who are very good playing for the under-20. I've seen it in the Senegalese national team that played in the, I think, under-17 or under-20 or so. We have players from academies that played for them. They are good, and now some of them have gotten contract with Barcelona and with the rest. So if you are bringing Eriche in, I think you are trying to tell all, because Eriche will not go to watch Canopy last match. Eriche will not be able to travel to some place to watch. So Fidelis Electrical and the likes of Nigerian could just like as he said, out of the 20 clubs that finished this last season, no single coach that you can say, okay, come in and come and become the coach, so that you can even scout, because they are already familiarized with the players playing in the league already. They can easily invite those who do not have enough chance to get into the Super Eagles squad. From there, if they play well, you can the chief coach like Eriche can also see them and invite them to the Super Eagles to come and compete for share. But then in the Super Eagles team, no home-based players is given chance, or if not for this last friendly game that will play. Now on that 23 team again, now you want to make it look like it must be players from, because that is what you are telling us indirectly, because Eriche will not come and be inviting home-based players without even without using
going through the grassroots
so definitely Eriche will still work with the likes of Fidelis Electrical and the rest, because any home-based player coming in, he will pass through these guys to find that if these guys are good. The same mistake that happened with us in the Chan Eagles, because that was what happened when Eriche took these Chan Eagles to play in this tournament, because Eriche did not,
they took virtually all the players from
Remo Stars to go and play, but because he was not too familiar with all of them, because Remo Stars won the league then, so they have to take almost all the players, because those are the players he can see, and those are the players he just believe that since you people can win the league, so definitely you are good. But sometimes it's not always like that. But and then because of that, Eriche also failed in that regard. So definitely after now you blame him and say, okay, he took on a 23 team and he lost. Meanwhile, you are the one making him to lose. So for me, it's a very, very big no for me.
I think what the NFF or the NFL thought is that Eriche coaching the Super Eagles, and 50% of the Super Eagles players are within that 20 to 23 years. So he can as well extract them.
That one is if you are going for the tournament proper. Yeah, that's what you are going for the Olympic proper. But this qualifiers now,
from the under 23 team, use it to conquer the world, and it will be very easy for them. Fans at home, the NFF, you guys have done pretty well by increasing Eriche's money, but giving him double the responsibility is what we don't look at it, or we don't accept, because I don't think it will make him to be focused in his job. But if you feel that's the best, you guys know better. I will urge the fans at home, as usual, to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for having us.